I just wanted to share my experience with this in case anyone else is considering it, because I have been living with it for over a year now, and it has become one of those background things in my home that I notice most when it is not running. The reason I ended up trying an air purifier in the first place was pretty simple. I wake up with allergies a lot. For me, it shows up as a dry, scratchy throat and a stuffy nose, especially in the morning. I was already doing the usual stuff like changing heating and cooling filters on time, cleaning regularly, washing bedding, all that. It helped a little, but it did not get me where I wanted to be. I wanted something that could keep the bedroom air more consistent overnight, without me having to think about it. This model is built for larger spaces, but I mostly use it in the primary bedroom and the attached bathroom area. I have also moved it to the living room on days when we are cooking a lot or when the house feels dusty. If you are dealing with allergies, pets, smoke from cooking, or you just want the air to feel less stale, that is the kind of person I think will actually notice a difference with something like this. If you just want a tiny purifier to sit on a desk a few feet away, this is not that type of product. It takes up real floor space. What made it interesting to me is the filter approach. It is not just one filter doing everything. There is a main particle filter that is meant to catch extremely small stuff, and there is also a separate carbon filter that is there for odors and certain chemical smells. I am not going to pretend I can measure microscopic particles at home, but I can talk about what I noticed in real life, because that is what matters day to day. Before I get into that, the physical design is pretty straightforward. It is a tall rectangle with softened edges. It looks clean and simple, not decorative. In my bedroom, it does not pull attention, which I appreciate. The front panel comes off easily, and that matters more than it sounds, because that is how you get to the filters. The whole thing feels solid, not flimsy, and the buttons and display have held up fine with daily use. It is not tiny, though. It is also not something I would want to carry around the house constantly. I can move it when I need to, but it is more of a pick it up carefully and set it down type of move, not something I want to do every day. Setup was simple. I pulled it out, removed the packaging from the filters, put everything back in, and turned it on. That is basically it. In daily use, I leave it in automatic mode most of the time. Automatic mode is the main reason it works for my routine, because it adjusts on its own based on what it thinks the air quality is. There is a color indicator on the display that gives you a quick read. I do not stare at it all day, but I do glance at it sometimes, especially if I just cooked something smoky or if I sprayed a cleaner in the bathroom. Noise is a big deal for me because this often runs while I sleep. On the lower settings, it fades into the background for me. On higher fan speeds, you can definitely hear it, but it is more of a steady whoosh than a high-pitched whine. I have tried smaller purifiers that sounded sharper and more annoying at night. With this one, the sound is there when it ramps up, but it has not kept me awake. The automatic mode can change speed, though, so if you are extremely sensitive to any change in sound while falling asleep, you might prefer locking it to a consistent low setting at night. That is an option, and I have done that on a few nights when I wanted the room to be as quiet and steady as possible. In the first week, the biggest thing I noticed was mornings. I was not waking up with that same dry throat, and my nose felt less clogged. It was not like I turned it on and suddenly I became a different person, but it was a noticeable improvement in my routine. The air in the room felt less heavy when I walked in, especially after the door had been closed for a while. That is a hard thing to describe without sounding dramatic, but if you have ever walked into a room and it just feels a little stale, that is what I mean. This helped with that. Odors were the other surprise. I expected it to help with dust and allergies more than smell, but it has been useful after cooking. When we make something with a lot of spices, or anything that creates a lingering smell, it clears out faster than just opening a window for a few minutes. It also helped in the bathroom when using strong cleaning products. The smell does not vanish instantly, but the room returns to normal faster, and it does not spread as much to the bedroom area when the purifier is running. I also have a pretty normal amount of dust in my house. Nothing extreme, but it is there. With this running consistently, I still dust, but I feel like the fine layer builds up more slowly in the bedroom. Again, that is not a laboratory measurement. It is just what I have noticed living with it. Let me talk about some real scenarios where I saw the automatic mode react. If I shake out bedding, especially a comforter that has been sitting, the unit usually ramps up within a short time. If I vacuum near it, it often ramps up. If I cook something that smokes a little and I bring it into the living room, it ramps up. Those moments gave me more confidence that the sensor is not just for show. It is responding to something in the air. Now, the mobile app. I am not someone who wants an app for every appliance, but I do like being able to check settings and see what mode it is in without walking over to it. In practice, I use the app mostly for small conveniences. If I am in bed and I want to lower the fan speed, I can do that. If I am out of the room and I want to make sure it is running, I can check. If you are the type of person who loves graphs and tracking, you might spend more time in there than I do. But for me, it is a practical remote control and a quick status check. It has been stable enough and I have not had to fight with it. Filter maintenance is also part of the reality of owning a purifier like this. You will be replacing filters. There is no way around that. The main particle filter is not something you can just rinse and reuse, and the carbon filter does not last forever either. The nice part is that getting to them is easy. The front comes off, the filters slide out, and you slide the new ones in. I do not dread doing it, and that matters because anything annoying tends to get delayed. I do have a couple of practical complaints. One is the size. Even though I like the airflow for bigger rooms, it is still a large object in the corner of a bedroom. You need to plan where it goes so it is not in the way. Another is that when it ramps up to higher speeds, the sound is noticeable. And if you are trying to watch a quiet show or you are on a call in the same room, you might end up turning it down temporarily. It is not unbearable. It is just part of having a powerful fan moving a lot of air. Also, because it is designed to clean air for larger areas, it feels a little like overkill for a tiny room. It works, but it is not the most subtle thing. In a larger bedroom, a living room, or an open space, it makes more sense. Overall, I have had a solid experience with it. I keep using it because I notice the difference in my mornings. And I notice how it handles cooking smells and that general stale feeling that can build up in closed rooms. It has been reliable for me, easy to live with, and not annoying to maintain. It does not fix allergies completely, but it has made my day-to-day more comfortable, and that is the whole reason I bought it. If you have any questions about using the AIRDOCTOR AD3500 day-to-day, or you want me to test a specific scenario, leave a comment. And if this video helped, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.